Let's make this really simple. There's the outside world and there's the inside world. The degree to which you look to the outside world to make you happy is the degree to which you suffer. Said another way, the degree to which you ignore the inside world is the degree to which you suffer. You have very little, if any, control of the outside world. And yet all day, every day, we're trying to control and manage the outside world. There's 8 billion people of us out there on this planet. Noise, drama, chaos, wars, COVID spreading everywhere, fires, floods, snowstorms. We have no control of any of this. Even in your own little orbit. You have family members fighting and squabbling with each other. Somebody gets sick, your daughter gets sick, your father gets cancer. It rains on your birthday. There's traffic every time you go to work. You crack a tooth and you've got to go to the dentist. Your mother-in-law's coming in town for a week staying with you. Your ex-boyfriend is now dating your best friend. Oh my God, I just thought of that one. Stuff happens. We have very little, if any, control of any of this, even in our own little world. And yes, of course, there are things in the outside world that make us happy. But they are temporary, they're fleeting, and they don't really satisfy us. See, there aren't different types of happiness. There's not a chocolate happiness and an ice cream happiness and a new iPhone happiness and a trip to Hawaii happiness and a Range Rover happiness and a new boyfriend happiness. Happiness is happiness. And the examples I just gave are all temporary and fleeting. You get like a hit of dopamine. You get that new iPhone, like, yes, I got the iPhone 15. So much the same like the iPhone 14, just a better camera. I'm so happy. Boom, hit of dopamine. You feel great. You're flying high for what, 2 or 3 hours? It's like a caffeine buzz. It wears off and you're off seeking the next new thing. It's just endless. It doesn't satisfy you. None of it does. If the Range Rover was the source of your happiness, every time you get in that Range Rover, you should be happy. But a month later, you're having a bad day and you get in your Range Rover and you're driving like, not happy. So was the Range Rover really the source of the happiness? Nothing in the external world can satisfy you with the definition of happiness that I'm offering to you today, and that is true happiness, where there's no sense of lack, nothing missing. You don't need to look externally for objects and trips and vacations and boyfriends and everything to be happy. True happiness comes from the inside world. And I have good news. You have total control of your inside world, 100% control. This is your inner terrain. This is your kingdom, and you are king of the jungle. You have control, but we need to learn how to manage and process and internalize all the stuff that hits us every day. Because that's not going away. But how we manage and process and internalize can really dictate our happiness, our internal happiness, and our peace of mind, because I want continuous, unbroken peace of mind for you. That's happiness. Happiness is being not unhappy, if that makes sense. So I want to talk to you today about 2 themes that help you manage the inside world, and that's resistance and surrender. Resistance and surrender are like the lock and the key. They're like the door that can open and close and controls your energy and your joy and your vitality, your happiness. And you can either close that door all the time or you can open it and keep it open all the time and feel that happiness, that upward flow of energy they call Shakti. You can go through life with that all the time. You got to keep that door open, though. Got to keep that key and unlock that lock that we keep locking it. So what is that lock? That lock is resistance. Resistance is suffering. Suffering is resistance. It's resistance to how life unfolds in front of you. You don't want to go to the dentist. I don't want to go to work. I don't like this traffic. Why is it raining on my birthday? I want to go to the beach. I don't want my mother-in-law coming in town. We resist all things, big and small, all day. I don't want to be standing in line at the post office. I don't want to run these errands. I don't want to walk my dog. It's endless, the resistance we have to the flow of life. And it's this resistance that causes suffering. Resistance is trying to control the outside world. But I just told you, you can't control the outside world. Yeah, but you don't understand, Mark. It's my birthday and it's raining. I want to go to the beach. Resistance. You don't understand. I'm stuck in traffic and I'm going to be late for work and this sucks. Resistance to what is. We resist all these things. Resistance is not being able to accept reality. It's not being able to handle reality. To experience life as it is. Not as you defined it to be or as you want it to be, but experience life just as it is, just as the events unfold in front of you. Resistance is saying, I don't want this. I don't want what I have. I don't like what is present. Get me out of this situation. I don't want to be at the airport. I don't want to be stuck in traffic. Why does it rain so much? Resistance, resistance, resistance. We resist so much. Our mind, our brilliant mind, has made up this construct of how life should unfold. It's defined how it should be and how you want it to be. And the tension and the friction between how it actually is, how reality is actually unfolding, and how you've defined it to be and how you want it to be, that's where the rubber meets the road, and that's where you suffer. Can you see that in your own life? Which leads me to surrender, which is beautiful. Surrender is acceptance. It's profound acceptance. It's allowing things to unfold as they are. Not as the way you define them to be or as you want them to be, but just as it is. Surrender is beautiful. But surrender is often misunderstood. So I want to clarify this for you too. Surrender does not mean you become a doormat, or you wave the white flag, or you allow people to take advantage of you. That is not surrender. That's not the surrender I'm talking about. If you are in an abusive relationship, I'm not saying just suck it up and stay in the relationship. Absolutely not. If you're in a hostile work environment, I'm not saying just stay there and persevere through it. No. There's action steps you can take. The first is see if you can make a change. If it's an abusive relationship, perhaps pursue counseling, talk to family members, get some help. If not, then remove yourself from that situation and the relationship, get a divorce. Same with a hostile work environment. Make a change. If a colleague is harassing you, talk to your manager, go to HR. If they're not helpful, then remove yourself from that environment, meaning quit, terminate, get out. Surrender does not say just hang in there and let people take advantage of you. A better example would be You get to the airport, you look up at the flights, and your flight is 5 hour delay. Oh, it's the worst. We've all been there. What are the action steps? Make a change. Okay, maybe I can catch an earlier flight. Maybe I can change airlines, jump on some other airline to get to my destination. If that's not possible and you can't remove yourself from the environment, meaning maybe I don't need to take this trip, it wasn't that important anyway, or maybe I can rent a car if the destination's not too far. But if you can't make a change and you cannot remove yourself from the environment, the third option and only option is surrender. 5 hour delay. You have two options now. You can suffer miserably, pollute your environment, air rage, yelling at the flight crew and the flight attendant and the passengers and calling everybody you can to complain, or you surrender. And by the way, all that noise and outbursts and air rage that you have, it doesn't make the airplane come in any sooner or have you leave any sooner. You still are stuck for 5 hours. The suffering is optional. It doesn't change anything there other than making you miserable. So in this example, the suffering is profound acceptance, allowing it to be, accepting reality, handling reality. That's surrender. The suffering is optional. You can suffer all you want, be miserable at the airport for 5 hours. We've all been there. Or you surrender to it and like, okay, it's not ideal. It's not what I wanted. But this is reality. This is what is unfolding in front of me, and I can handle this. And yes, you can handle it. You just got to get all that mental noise and garbage out of your head. We have this construct that we're in charge of the universe and everything should unfold exactly the way we want them to be. And if it doesn't, we go nuts. I've got news for you. You are not in charge of the universe. And events are going to unfold all through your life that can be challenging. There will always be challenges, but you don't have to struggle with the challenges. There's circumstances, and then the story you create because of the circumstance. You crack a tooth. The story you may create is, I'm so unlucky, bad things happen to me. The circumstance was you cracked a tooth. Now you've got to go to the dentist. The story you create, the reaction you have, is the cause of your suffering. And it's just the resistance to what is. And if you understand what I'm telling you here and sharing with you here, there are no problems in life. There's just situations. Yeah, but Mark, I got a problem. I cracked my tooth. You cracked your tooth. That's the situation. The story you've created, the resistance that you have towards it, is where the suffering and the problem is. It's just a situation. Look at all things that you're resisting in life that we call problems. They're just situations. They're problems because they're not unfolding the way you define them to be or want them to be. When you can accept reality and handle reality and experience life as it is, there are no problems. They're just situations. And as I said, there's stuff that's going to hit us all through life. There's going to be challenges, but you don't have to struggle with the challenges. Take the resistance out. Take the story out. And then you just deal with the situation. You go to the dentist. You get your tooth fixed. But it doesn't become this massive drama. It was a situation. It's not a problem. It rained on your birthday and you can't go to the beach. Drama. It's not a problem. situation. Again, not ideal, not what you wanted, but the suffering comes from the resistance. Surrender to everything, weather, traffic, stuff that is out of your control, and see how you start flowing with life and being in harmony with life. It's beautiful. You have the lock and the key. And as I said, that door that we can shut, closed, or keep open. That's how you manage your inside world. You control your kingdom. You are king of the jungle. Control your kingdom. You have 100% control. And so much of it is about what you resist and what you can surrender to. So resistance and surrender are magnificent themes. You go with the flow of life, fluidity. You're in harmony with life now. And see how life unfolds for you. And it's just so much easier. You're not fighting anymore. You're not going to war with life. Like that salmon swimming upstream, just fighting and flapping and struggling. Not like that anymore. You turn around, you go with the current. Go with the flow. Harmonious with the world. It's beautiful. You'll see that life starts unfolding in beautiful ways, and all this, what they call Shakti, this upward flow of energy, starts coming through you because you're not blocking it anymore with all this garbage. That's where the joy and the vitality and peace of mind, continuous unbroken peace of mind and happiness and love come when you're not resisting, you're surrendering, you're in harmony with life. I hope this was helpful to you. It was a game changer for me to understand this. Onward and upward. Love and light.